Hey folks, I'm Dennis. Thanks for watching my video. Today I'm going to show you how to repair a chip in a windshield for your car or truck. There are several manufacturers that make kits for these kind of repairs. I'm going to use a Permatex kit just because this is what was available to me and it's a name brand that I trust. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. Now the instructions don't say to do this in this kit, but what I'm going to do first is, just to be safe, is I'm going to take a clean rag and some rubbing alcohol and I'm going to wipe down the spot. Right here it is. It's kind of a bullseye spot. It's where a piece of gravel from a dump truck bounced off the road and hit the windshield. So I'm going to use rubbing alcohol to clean it and also to make sure it's dry. I don't want there to be any water in there. So like if you've just washed your car or your truck, you want it, the alcohol will make the water evaporate, and then just let it dry for a couple of minutes to make sure the alcohol has evaporated. It comes with a set of instructions. The instructions have a series of photos to show you what to do, and then on the other side you've got English, Spanish and French instructions step by step, and they're pretty simple to follow. So I'm just going to follow the instructions as they're outlined in the sheet. In the kit you got a syringe for pulling out the air bubbles and pushing the resin into the crack, and then you've got a little tube of resin, an adhesive disc, which is what you stick on the windshield, and then a pedestal base. So that's all there is to it. Alright, so I've stuck a black moving blanket behind here so you can see the chip. Hopefully it'll kind of stay in focus. It's hard obviously because it's a piece of glass. If you have any loose glass in there, you want to take like a thumbtack or a needle, something like that, to make sure that any loose glass that's in there is out. You just kind of dig it out. I've got some real small little probe picks, and I'm going to use one of those to just make sure I don't have anything loose in there. And you want to be careful. You don't want to dig down into it, because if you do, you're likely to break out the backside of the glass. You just want to make sure there's not loose glass here, because it'll affect the quality of the patch. You want to take the seal, the backing, and they don't really say in the instructions which side to peel off first, but I'm going to peel off the white first because it shows peeling off a dark one last. So you just peel that backing off like so. Stick that over the hole with the tab sticking up, and then press it down. Now this hole is probably going to be smaller than the chip. That's okay. There's another step that comes that's going to take care of the rest of it. Then you take the backing off the top side, take the backing off of that side, then you take the pedestal, line it up, line the tabs up, center it. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get the center of this over the hole. So get it as close to center as you can on the circular part. The tab on the pedestal is not as big as the tab on the adhesive part. So then you're going to just push down on that, make sure you got a really good seal. The instructions say to cut the tip off about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut it off. And that gives me an opening in the tube. Place the stem 1/4 inch into the pedestal opening, slowly squeeze the resin tube. So I'm just going to put it in there and slowly squeeze it out. So you have to kind of give it a little bit of air because it tends to want to airlock. You take the injector or the syringe, and press fit it into the pedestal. You hold it in place. There's a spring clip on it up here. Hold it in place, pull it up, and go to the last notch, which is here. There's one notch, and that notch, you go to the last notch, pull it up to that, and you'll see it starting to pull. What it's doing is it's pulling the bubbles out of the resin. So you leave it like that for 10 minutes. That way you get all the bubbles out. So I'm going to come back in 10 minutes and we'll do the next step. All right, so after 10 minutes, you come back and what you do is hold this pedestal down, loosen this syringe up a little bit, just enough to let some air in. You don't have to pull it all the way out because you don't want to fling epoxy everywhere, but just lift it up, let some air in, press fit it back down in there, and then release your spring clip and press it down into the bottom catch like that. And then now you're going to leave it for 20 minutes minimum. 20 to 30 minutes will do it. All right, after 20 minutes or more, I've been about 25 minutes. It says to remove the injector and discard. Pull that out. I'm going easy with it because I don't want to fling this epoxy all over my windshield and make a mess. And I'm going to stick that back in the container. Then I've got a scraper that I'm going to use to just get up underneath there and peel that off. And then so that just, all right, that popped off. That's fine. Then it says to slowly peel this away. So we'll peel it off slowly. Like so. And then I'm going to take a rag, as it says, and wipe away the excess resin. Okay. Alright. That's looking pretty good. Then it's got this little piece of plastic. You probably, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's about a, I don't know, 1.5 inch square. Take your resin bottle, which should be nearly empty, but slowly squeeze the resin container, applying a drop of resin in the pit, which is the chip, right? So, see if I can do this so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to squeeze it and try my best to get a drop out of it. Hopefully I can get a drop out of it. There we go. Alright. So one drop, drop it in the pit. Set that aside. Then place a curing film over the pit. Like so. Run the safety razor lightly over the clear film to vent out any air bubbles. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to do that just kind of lightly. It says ultraviolet sun rays cure the resin. So park the vehicle in direct sunlight for 15 minutes on a hazy day for 1 hour. Alright, so I'm going to move my truck and I'm going to park it in the sun for 15 minutes to cure this resin. Alright, that should be fine. So I've let it cure in the sun for, well, in the direct sun for about 15 minutes, and then I let it set. The sun went down, so I let it set in the shade for about another 30 just to be safe. So now what they say to do is to take a razor blade. And you know, sometimes when you do this, it's going to come all the way out to the edges of the plastic, sometimes not. I didn't press all the way out because it's a very small area, but if you've got a bigger area, you're going to want to make sure that you had enough resin to cover everything under the plastic, I would expect. So you get up underneath the plastic and then just peel that off. You're going to have a little bit of a ring where the resin was. And so you take your scraper, your razor blade, and just kind of gently and as parallel to the glass as you can scrape that off, because you're basically just getting the excess off, you know. And then it's not going to be, well, clearly it's not going to be a perfect fix. Like, you can actually still see that chip. So You know, I don't know if that's operator error or if it's the type of kit that I used or what, but it's still better than it was. It's a lot better than it was. And it should keep it from cracking anymore. I mean, there's still a spot there. It's not completely smooth. I was hoping for a better result, but it's still better than it was. I don't know if you can come back over a place like that with a second application and maybe get it better or not. I just don't know. But you know, you may or may not get perfect results with this. Some people I've seen do it, get really great results. Probably depends a lot on the chip, but I'm still happy with that. It's still way better than it was, and it'll keep this that bullseye from splitting more. So while that may not give you the most perfect results, it's better than having that big chip in the windshield. So I'm okay with the results on mine. I was hoping for a little bit better, but thanks for watching my video, folks. I really appreciate it. Please click on the thumbs up below, give me a like on the video, and subscribe to my channel if you would. I hope to see you back soon. God bless you.